Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of the DAN Show, and welcome to my latest 2021 NFL Draft video. Today, I'm going to break down the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, if you're new to this channel, I just got one simple question to ask you. Do you like football? Because if so, you're in the right place. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, ring the bell. And if you've been here before, you already know the drill. Give me a thumbs up and drop a comment below with your opinion. Here's how this works. I'm going to give you 3 things about the Philadelphia Eagles I like, and then I'm going to give you 3 things I don't like, but stick around to the very end and while I break down the Vegas over-under and if I am going to put action down on the Philadelphia Eagles for the upcoming 2021 NFL season. So hey, let's kick this off with 3 things I like about the Philadelphia Eagles. The first thing I like about the Philadelphia Eagles is that they gave Jalen Hurts a chance to start. There's lots of talk about them trading for a quarterback. I know they got Joe Flacco, but Hurts is going to be the starter. And then there was also some talk about them trading up. Maybe to get a quarterback or just taking one at 6. But they decided to trade back down. And what they're going to do is that they're going to give him a legitimate opportunity to start. Now, when he was at Alabama, I really didn't think too much of him. But then when he transferred to Oklahoma, I really liked his NFL prospect. But I still had him as a late round pick. But at the combine, he excelled on the whiteboard and his throwing motion improved dramatically. Everything about his throwing motion indicated that he was a second round caliber quarterback. There was even some talk about late first, but I thought that was probably overdoing it a bit. But in the middle of the second round where he ended up getting drafted by the Eagles was a perfect spot and a spot that he deserved to because he kept on showing immense improvement. I'm not saying he's the same type of player as Dak Prescott, but there's a lot of similarities in his college game. I remember Dak Prescott in college, I thought was a big guy. He had a big arm, just the touch, the throwing mechanics, and I actually feel the same way about Jalen Hurts. And I like Prescott just a little better coming out of college, but I liked Prescott a lot, I liked Hurts a lot more after the combine. So I think giving him a chance as a second round pick to be your starting quarterback and possibly your franchise quarterback is really smart, especially when you combine that with the second thing I like about the Philadelphia Eagles, and that is their skill position talent. Now, I'm making this video in mid-July, so by the time you look at this, I might have to revisit this, and Zach Ertz may not be on the team. But as of right now, Zach Ertz is on the team, and him and Dallas Goedert is a really nice 1-2 punch. I really like Goddard coming out of college, and I think the combo of these two is really underrated. Ertz before last season was a 3-time Pro Bowler, and Dallas Goedert's a very athletic player that was chosen in the second round a couple of years ago. So it's a really nice 1-2 combination. Now, here's the thing. In the first round, you draft Hurts' former teammate, Devontae Smith, who had, statistically speaking, the greatest college football season ever for a wide receiver. You combine him with last year's first round pick, Jalen Reagor, and you also still have Greg Ward and Travis Fulgham. You got a really nice underrated wide receiver core. Now, I really liked Reagor coming out of TCU last year, but he wasn't nearly as productive as the player chosen after him, and that's Justin Jefferson. So he kind of gets, a lot of people kind of look down on him, but he did show some explosiveness. And just like the majority of the Philadelphia Eagles last year, he was injured. So give him a full season, OTAs. And if he stays healthy, he may surprise and be a really, really good player. The running back position group is vastly underrated. You got Miles Sanders, who when he's healthy is extremely exciting. And then you also have Boston Scott, who's also a very explosive player. Now, either one of these two guys, you really don't want them to touch the ball 20 times a game, but between these two players, could you have 25 touches a game? Absolutely, and you'll probably do at least 1 or 2 big plays through the explosive ability of just these two guys. But you still have Jordan Howard. You signed Kerryon Johnson, a very talented player, again, an injury bug. And 5th round pick Kenneth Gainwell had a huge season for Memphis last year. He's an underrated player who could vie for some snaps in there. Now, this probably isn't a top 5 skill position group in the NFL, but it's extremely underrated with some really good fantasy football players that you can get late in the draft. Now, the third thing I like about the Eagles is that there's no expectations on the season. Almost universally, Philly's favored to finish in the cellar of the NFC East. Spoiler alert, the betting public's already heavily against the Eagles. And Philly's a great town to be an underdog in, especially if they show life. This is a team that could be really, really dangerous, especially when you consider this isn't a talentless team. This is a team that has some talent, and since there's no expectations, this team could be really, really dangerous and a lot of fun to watch. So just to recap the three things I like about the Eagles. Number one, I like the fact that they're giving Jalen Hurts the opportunity. I like the fact that they didn't try to get a different quarterback. I know they brought in Flacco, but they could have gone after somebody else to overtake the position, or they could have drafted somebody really good move and giving Hurts the opportunity, plus giving him the skill position talent, which is the second thing. And of course, it goes hand in hand together. You give Hurts the starting nod, give him his former teammates' first overall pick this year. And then the third and final thing is the no expectations. This is a great town to be an underdog in. Now, three things I don't like about the Philadelphia Eagles. First thing I don't like about the Philadelphia Eagles is almost $49 million in dead cap space. Now, the Eagles are going to pay almost $49 million the players who won't play down this year. Now, most of this is going to Carson Wentz, but this is just such a large amount of money that could go towards a variety of different positions, a variety of other needs. This is the only video that I'm going to make where I bring up dead cap space. But this is just such a massive albatross and something that's going to be that's going to be very difficult to overcome for the 2021 NFL season. I feel like it's something you have to look at right away. The second thing I don't like about the Philadelphia Eagles is this group of players, star players over 30. Just to be clear, I'm not saying that these five players are the five best players on the Eagles team, but it does include their only three Pro Bowl players. You have Darius Slay, who's 30, Lane Johnson, 31, coming off a serious injury. Kelsey's going to be 34 in November. Fletcher Cox is going to be 31 in December. It's also his 10th NFL season. And then Brandon Graham, who's 33. These are five key players this year that are all really, their best days are really behind them, and that's just being fair. I could actually argue these are the five best players on the Eagles, and all five of these players' best days are behind them, which is unfortunate. But it is true, and it's something that gives me a cause for concern, because even if these aren't the five best players, they're five key players, five players that have to play well for the Eagles to be successful this year. And the third thing I don't like about the Philadelphia Eagles is the improved NFC East. It's kind of funny because last year I predicted the Eagles to win the NFC East because they were the only team that was returning its head coach and had some form of continuity, where the other three teams were bringing in new coaches and new schemes on both sides of the ball. Well, this year, only one team's bringing in a new head coach and a new scheme. And here's the thing. The other three teams in the NFC East, all three of them got better. I'm not really sure the Eagles did. You combine that with a new head coach and combine that with the fact that they finished dead last in the worst division in football last year. The Eagles, or the NFC East, is not going to be the worst division in football this year, but it does look like the Eagles are going to be the worst team and will finish in the cellar again. Just to recap the three things I don't like about the Eagles, you have almost $49 million in dead cap space. Star players over 30 past their prime, and the improved NFC East. Now, this is the money-making part of the show. This is the part of the show where I break down the Vegas over-under and reveal if I am putting action down on the Philadelphia Eagles. The line currently is 6.5. It was 7 not too long ago, which means that the betting public is already betting heavily on the under, like I stated below. Right now, it's 6.5, and the under is negative 140. I'm sorry, the over is negative 140, and the under is plus 120. Now, for the over, it means that you have to wager $140 to win 100, but the under, a $100 wager wins you 120. Now, I'm telling you this right now, mid-July, this is going to drop. So it's going to keep dropping, in my opinion. So if you like the over, you definitely want to wait and hold on. You don't want that negative 140. But if you like the under, you may want to sprint to the window, because this number is going to drop. I wouldn't even be surprised if this drops all the way to 6 right before the start of the season. Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you know I don't like betting on rookie head coaches, but I have to admit, I really like the under, especially the way it is now at plus 120, because I really don't think that they can get to 7 wins. I mean, yeah, I know they had a ton of injuries last year, but let's take a look at their schedule, all right? Their first 3 home games, 49ers, Chiefs, and Bucks. That's a minimum of 2 losses, probably 3. Then you play the Chargers and the Saints before you get their 3 division games. There's no way they get more than 3 wins at home. All right? There's no way they get more than 3 wins. It's not possible. You know, of all the teams I've previewed so far, this is the one I easily like the best. I really like under 6.5, especially at the 120, at the plus 120 number that you can get. And if it stays like this, right around opening day, I might actually put some money down on the Eagles and under, because I really don't think that this team can get to 7 wins this year. Now, I have to admit, I got the order wrong. I did Philly and Detroit out of order, so my apologies. But I will get back on track, and Carolina is coming up Friday. So, listen, now, don't forget, if you haven't done it already, give me the thumbs up. And drop a comment below with what your opinion is. How do you think the Eagles are going to do in 2021? And do you agree with my assessment? And I will see you guys Friday.